Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Parabrahma, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. जय माँ, जय माँ, सबको जय माँ. Do well, keep well. Okay. Today's question, again it is Rakhi Bhajan 5384, username. She says, Jai Ma, Jab 4.5 crores which Ma said to do is after Diksha, but if not Dikshit, then what? Then what jab should one do? Ma, sorry if I'm putting up so many questions. There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm glad that you're putting up so many questions because you seem to be sincere about this. And so I'm very happy to help all those who really are sincere about, their sadhana. So curiosity to hoti hai, inquiry to hoti hai. Even when I was new, I was constantly calling up Bhaskar Anandji and constantly asking him all little details, little things I would ask him. So it's always good to do that, and I'm so glad that he was there to help me out. I'm so glad my father was there to help me out. So I had a lot of support system, and you need that when you're new on the path, When you're just treading the path, you need support system. You need people to answer your questions or queries. They may be the silliest things on this planet that you're asking, but you need somebody to tell you. So हम लोग जब शुरू करते हैं तो बहुत ही silly questions होते हैं. बाद में ऐसे समझ में आता है, अरे what did we ask? What were we doing? But it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So you're saying 4.5 crore jab. First of all, let me tell you, Raki, it's not easy to do 4.5 crore jab. Impossible. Very, very, very difficult. Okay? Secondly, even if you're a Dikshit, you need authority to be doing 4.5 crore jab by your Guru, Acharya Guru or whatever. Because there are a lot of rules in this, there are a lot of things that you have to follow. And I remember, unbelievable again, there was he just recently passed away, a devotee, Ma's devotee, who wanted to do this 4.5 crore jab Anushtan. Okay? So a couple of years ago, he went up to Swami Nityanand Ji to take permission from him and ask him all the rules and how to go about doing the jab. He was given all the instructions by Swamiji and he showed his keenness, obviously, that he wanted to do it. So he was given all the instructions and then he came back to the ashram. This was in Gujarat, okay? So he came back over there and started his jab. Now, he was also the, organizing and managing the ashram that they were living in, So he was the organizer, also manager kind of thing, where he had to do a lot of work over there. And then plus he was a pandit also, pujari types, like he could do pujas for people and, do all those things, yagna, havan, all that. So his time was always occupied with different activities. But in the middle of all this, he wanted to do the Anushtan, 4.5 crore jab. One fine day after some months, I think, he called me up and said, what should I do with this, that, and what did you do and how did you do? So he asked me a couple of questions. So I gave him those couple of answers and he said he would continue. But apparently after a couple of months, he could not continue. He had to break it. Because of so many different activities he was involved in and responsibilities basically. So when I heard, I said, okay, fine, it's not easy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Then later on, he was diagnosed with cancer. He just recently passed away with that. And when this was happening, he started his Anushtan again. Because beech mein agar toot jata hai na, then you can't say, okay, I already did 1 crore and 3.5 is balanced, so I will continue from there. No, you have to start all over again if you break it in between. So it's not easy. So he decided that he will do it again. And it takes about 3.5 years, at least it took me 3.5 years. He started his Anushthan and started everything. Now comes the time when he's in his last stage of cancer, okay, last stage, where doctors had given up on him and all that had happened. Will you believe it? In that situation and state, he still continued. People told him that now you're not keeping well. You know, he was on oxygen and things like that. And you won't be able to continue. So just break it. And when you feel a little better, you can start all over again. And he said, no way, I'm not going to break it. He did not break it. And he wanted to do in his last moments, he wanted to go to Kankal, Haridwar. He said, my Anushthan is getting over. I want to go and do pranam to Ma when my Anushthan is over and come back. And they said, you're not in no situation, no condition to go and travel anywhere. He was so headstrong. He said, no, I will go. He went to Kankal. He was like a skeleton. He went to Kankal, did pranam to Ma. Ma ne itna unko samhala. And he came back to Gujarat. Then obviously he was rushed to the hospital and whatever, etc. And then yagna bhi ho gaya. Unka Anushthan jab khatam hua, so they had organized a yagna in the ashram. So that also was done. And he participated in that. And then his last moments, he passed away. So what I'm trying to tell you is, when you are so sincere and dedicated to your sadhana, Ma definitely helps you out, finds a way. Even with all the difficulties, see what he did. He could manage, right? And he finished his sadhana, and then Ma took him away. So, it's difficult. But if you're saying that if you're not a Dikshit, what kind of jap can you do? Without Diksha, then obviously there is, Diksha se kya hota hai? कि वो शक्ति का संचार करके, which I've already mentioned, आपको जप दिया जाता है, मंत्र दिया जाता है, right? And then you continue a jap on that. So that mantra is charged for you. That strength is something totally different than from what you take from a book and start reading and reciting and chanting and doing your jap. It's fine. For beginners, you have to do that instead of going hunting for a guru. Till you find a right guru, until Bhagwan sends you a right guru, you can continue doing that. There is no absolutely fine. No harm in that. But if you're talking about 4.5 crore jap, how will you do it without a proper naam? So you can pick up something from the book. There is no harm in doing jap. You can constantly do jap. That's not the problem. It's not like somebody has to give it to you. You can take it from a book and do it. And you can take any name you want and do it and continue doing it. But 4.5 crore jap is a lot. So please think about it. Diksha lene ke baad agar aap karte hain, to zyada acha hai, because half your job is done when the mantra is given to you. Like I said, Shakti ka sanchar ho chuka hai. और अगर नहीं दीक्षा ली है और फिर भी अगर आपको करना है, you're most welcome. It's absolutely fine. You take a name or whatever jap you want, whatever mantra you want, take that by yourself and continue doing. Why 4.5? Do 21,600 like Ma used to say. Begin with that per day. वो श्वास अपनी जो चलती है breath is 21,600 per day in 24 hours. So Ma said कि दिन में 21,600 बार जप होना चाहिए, which is considered to be श्वासोश्वास. So you can do 21,600 divided by 3 sandhyas. Divide the jap between 3 sandhyas. And you can do it that way. So begin with that, Don't think of 4.5 just now. बहुत बड़े दिग्गज नहीं कर पाए हैं. I think there were only 4 or 5 people who have been, or 3 or 4 people who have been able to do that with Ma's guidance and permission. So it's not easy. So don't venture off for things like that. You just continue with your 21,600. Begin with that. फिर क्या पता कभी दीक्षा हो जाए अगर आपकी, आगे सोचना. Then you can consult your Acharya Guru and you can do whatever you have to do. So that's for today. And I shall see you next time. Jai Ma.